Okay, 5th to 8th place classification. People have asked me, can Wales finish 5th? Can France finish 5th? And here's a preview. It'll be a very short video. So, in the group we have Spain, Wales, France, and Russia. Spain and Wales already on 3 points. And important to note is the team that faced each other in the group stages will not face each other in this part of the tournament. So, Spain won't face Russia, and Wales won't face France. Spain and Wales obviously already on 3 points. With only 2 games to play, that is huge. But I think the outlook of this rankings will lay with Spain versus France. I think Spain will still finish 5th because if you look at it, Spain should comfortably win against Wales. They will be invigorated by that exit, by that early exit, some would argue, that they didn't make it into the semi-finals. And although Wales is a good team with some quality, you think of Bradshaw, you think of Furlong, Carson, Shipley, Draper. It's a good team. Spain has to be aware of their opponents and of their threats. But I think because of the early exit, they will be invigorated. They will want to prove that, although they haven't made it to the semi-finals, they are the best of the rest, so to speak. And they will probably win their game against Wales. And then it comes down to Spain-France, because if France wins that game and France wins against Russia, that could change the outlook of the classification games. It could also change France finishing 7th to France finishing 5th, potentially, obviously with Wales playing against Spain. However, that's a game that could go either way. France-Spain could end up in a draw, could end up in a convincing win for Spain, convincing win for France, or a very tight game. I think in the beginning it might be tight. France obviously has some offensive threats, but how much did they give against Germany? Did they give too much, perhaps? Is the tank empty? They're obviously playing against Russia first, so if they win that game, that will be a huge boost to their morale, and they will feel like they can probably go and defeat Spain. However, as I said, Spain also will have that feeling that they perhaps underachieved at this tournament, and they won't want to finish anywhere lower than 5th. So I think guys like Gamada, guys like Delas, like Sayas probably have that much more, that bit of quality, that bit of experience to really drag Spain over the line in case it's a close game. So I can't really predict if it's going to be a close game or not, if it's going to be a convincing game or convincing win for someone. But what I am going to say is a Spain victory over France. And so that leaves, in my opinion, Spain first, 5th on 6 points. Wales will probably beat Russia. I don't see Russia beating Wales or France. Russia, if they're going to beat anyone, the best chance is against Wales. However, we've seen with Wales that they are not to be underestimated, and they can turn it on in a moment. They can really make that click from losing to drawing or drawing to winning. And I think Russia isn't quite ready for that yet. So second or 6th, rather, I'll have Wales on 6 points. Then I'll have France on 7th with 3 points, and Russia 8th with 0. However, I am again expecting Russia to come out of the starting blocks rapidly to try and get that early goal, perhaps defend the lead, and then try to hit Wales or France on the counter if they can. But that's it for the 5th to 8th place rankings. We have the semi-finals and we have those games on today. Now, Russia are facing France as we speak, but I haven't yet looked at a single second of that game just because I still needed to film the video. So again, if you've enjoyed the video, if you enjoy what we do on the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, please consider liking, and I'll talk to you tonight for a recap of the first and maybe the second semi-final. Depends obviously on how well those games were and how much there is to speak of. So again, thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.